Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. So, I see a huge argument happening online right now within the wrestling space. I know, what's new? Just pick a day that ends with day, right? It's always going to be discourse happening somewhere in some pocket of the IWC. But this one is starting to branch out a little bit more because people are calling out double standards. People are calling out hypocrisy. People are saying that certain authority figures are straight up fucking lying. Well, fortunately, I have the context. Psych, I don't. We're going to react to it together, live. Unless you already reacted to it, to yourself, with a tissue and lotion. Therefore, go finish up, okay? And come back and you can finish off to the sound of my voice like you typically do. Alright, link is down in the description box below. Shut the fuck up and follow along. WWE President Nick Khan claimed earlier this year that the company doesn't sign and bench wrestlers, but another talent has been benched by the organization. Dakota Kai has not wrestled on Monday Night Raw since the March 17th episode of the show, and she hasn't wrestled at all since the March 24th taping of Main Event, with both matches being wins over American Maid's Ivy Now. Kai is a member of the Damage Control faction, but she has rarely been featured over the past month alongside Io Sky, despite Sky being on TV every week as Women's World Champion. Dakota Kai addressed her absence from WWE TV on social media, tweeting that she missed wrestling and she misses you guys, in quotations. Kai then noted that she isn't dealing with an injury, adding, and I quote, "not hurt by the way." This means WWE are simply not using Dakota Kai at the moment for some reason. Similar to Omos, who has been benched by WWE once again, even though the company brought him back from Pro Wrestling Noah following a critically acclaimed few weeks with the Japanese promotion. WWE's current policy stands in opposition to claims by Nick Khan, who said, and I quote, again coming from Nick Khan, "That's something we don't do. We won't sign and bench people. We sign people who we want to use. If another entity signs and benches people now, that's not something we do." Which is a direct quote from Nick Khan. He straight up said that. I called him out on saying that. Because it's bullshit. It's obviously a fucking lie. No one absolutely believes that. And if you do, you are drinking some hardcore Jim Jones-esque type of fucking Kool-Aid. Now, obviously, people are going to call this out. People are going to note that Dakota Kai being benched completely refutes the claims that Nick Khan is putting forward. Which again, you didn't have to do that because it's professional wrestling and you're talking about a big organization that has probably over, maybe close to 1,000 employees overall. Maybe over 2, 3. I wouldn't even be surprised if they're close to 400 wrestlers overall on the entire roster. It wouldn't shock me. I'm not sure, but it wouldn't shock me. Guarantee you, by virtue of just fucking percentage, just looking at all the wrestlers, right? Good shot, there are going to be more wrestlers who are not put in prominent spots versus wrestlers who are put in prominent spots. There are going to be wrestlers who are working versus wrestlers who aren't working. I mean, overall, it's kind of a dumbass argument when you really think about it. But again, it wouldn't be an argument that had to be made if Nick Khan himself didn't make it an argument. The amount of times this whole Triple H regime has shot itself in the fucking foot for no goddamn reason is beyond me. They're bringing troubles to themselves where trouble does not have to be brought. Seriously, I gotta say this. Like, as far as their PR is considered, Triple H, Nick Khan, all them guys, The Rock also included, they are a fucking nightmare. A complete and utter nightmare. I said it once and I'll say it again. The fact that you have Triple H going out there, and I get it, I completely understand. Okay, Vince McMahon played a pivotal role inside his career. I'm making a bigger point here. Bear with me. We're going to get to Dakota Kai a little bit. Just bear with me. It's a bigger point. The fact that Triple H went out of his way to praise Vince McMahon at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and just overall what they do when they talk about Vince McMahon, it's fucking insane to me. Why do I say that? Because, and I noted this before, Vince McMahon would not go out of his way to bring attention to Vince McMahon because it's unnecessary. John Cena did the same thing when he praised Vince McMahon. It's not to say that you don't have to. It's not to say that people should handcuff you, but you should know at least the setting that you're in. I disagree. I completely disagree with the notion of having to hide your love or relationship with Vince McMahon. I disagree. But currently, right now, just what's best for business. Isn't that the Triple H slogan, what's best for business? Maybe, just maybe optically, you should not be going out of your way to praise a Vince McMahon openly like that. Again, Vince McMahon would tell you, if he was in that position, to not praise Vince McMahon openly like that. But it's just an example of how terrible this regime is when it comes to basic fucking rhetoric, and when it comes to just going out there and displaying something of just an adequate professional outlook as far as what your position garners. It's like they don't fucking get it. Now you put out this distinction, right? Now you put out this distinction and you say to yourself, our company doesn't bench talent. We actually use everybody. Ha! But the guys over there in AEW, yeah, that's why they're leaving their company and they're coming to us, because they want opportunities. They want to be able to apply their craft. And then, we look up and down the roster and we can just close our eyes, point our finger at somebody, point our finger at a picture, and they're not being used. It's fucking dumb. It's dumb. Why put that out there in the open when you know it's going to come back to bite you in the ass? Now, to play a little bit of a devil's advocate for a second, obviously, and I know people are going to come in here who are being good faith. Like I said, this whole video is going to be nuanced as fuck. The good faith position being put forth, I'm going to presume, is that Dakota Kai is injury prone. That's probably the number one thing. I'm going to assume anyone who is, opposed to the perspective of Nick Khan is, not benching people. For some reason, these people, again, it's a fucking cult sometimes when he talk like this. But it is a valid point to a certain degree, right? Dakota Kai is constantly injury prone. You look around, the girl probably broke her knee, probably broke her elbow, probably broke her ankle, probably broke her ass, probably broke her fingernail, probably broke her earlobe. Like, this girl stays on the injury list all the fucking time. Has nothing to do with age, even though I could be wrong, but I think Dakota is in her mid-30s right about now, right? Which is pretty much ancient in women years, right? But it doesn't take away from the fact that Dakota Kai has got to prove that she is in a position where she can stay healthy, where you could put her into a long-term story, or you could give her a title, or you can give her a position, and you know that you can rely on her. You can't do that. And maybe you could make the same argument about certain talents, like a AJ Styles, for an example, who keeps getting injured lately, or currently right now, Rey Mysterio. But I'm going to assume you're not going to be an asshole and try to be bad faith. Again, that's when that charitability comes into play. You're not going to be bad faith and be like, you're being a hypocrite and talk about Dakota Kai is injury prone, but you're not going to talk about AJ Styles, or you're not going to talk about Rey Mysterio. You're not going to be bad faith, right? Obviously, name value wise, there's an obvious reason why you're going to use AJ Styles and you're going to use a Rey Mysterio at this point in time, because their name value warrants it. It betters your card, whether they're injury prone or not. Their names, their legacy acts, they have an established fan base that that at the very least they're going to be an instant draw for that fan base, which probably has upwards to hundreds of thousands, and in the case of Rey Mysterio, when you talk about California and Mexico alone, probably upwards to millions. You know what I mean? Versus Dakota Kai, how many fans does she have on Twitch? There you go. That's the big draw for Dakota Kai. Again, if we're being charitable here, you can't say injury prone at the same time. Ignore that. But then again, like I said, nuanced topic. We can look at the flip side of all this, right? And if I don't know how Dakota Kai feels about this, but like you said, like everybody else said, you didn't use her when Io Sky's on television as a women's champion. I'm not sure how good Dakota Kai's promo skills is, or how charismatic she happens to be, or whatever that happens to lie in, or whatever. But you don't have to use Dakota Kai as, a wrestler. You know what I mean? She could be a second. We're going to use Japanese terminology when reflecting off of Io Sky. Or as we like to say in the States, she could be a manager. Or what do the kids say nowadays? An advisor. Whatever the fuck terminology you want to use. A valet for the women. I don't fucking know. What I mean is she could be in a prominent position without having to wrestle. If that happens to be the case, right? She could play, again, there's a myriad of positions that she could play, right? Or you can just transition her backstage if you want her to work with the women. Maybe she got some valuable knowledge that she can, pass down to some of the women. Maybe she can tell the women how to not break your knee every fucking 2 weeks. I don't know. But what I am suggesting is the constant reflection off of, well, she can't wrestle, therefore she's useless. It's fucking dumb, obviously. I mean, unless you're just that much in the goddamn bubble when it comes to wrestling and you're just that fucking deluded when it comes to the in-ring action. I'm pretty sure most people can use common sense and know that you don't have to be in the ring to be useful, as the product goes forward. Like, you could be useful to the product outside of being a fucking wrestler. But it goes right back to that original point, right? Again, it's so cancer and it's so toxic how we discuss these matters nowadays, because it's almost like the product comes second to just wanting to claim, aha, finger up in the air, I am right, and the light bulb flickers, and guess what, guys, this light bulb that's flickering above my head in a cartoonish manner, it suggests that I'm right, without recognizing in the end of the day, cool. Great. I like to be right all the time too. But you're right about a thing that still is very negative, right? Right? In the end of the day. So we should be trying to figure out ideas of how we could spin this and make this into a positive, right? It's cool to sit back and just lean on, the fucking barricade and put your knees up and smoke a cigarette and puff and then blow out a smoke, and the smoke again cartoonishly reads, I'm right. But Dakota Kai is still not being used. And there is a prominent spot that she could be used in. Hypothetically speaking, if you want Io Sky to get heat as a babyface, you could theoretically have someone who's going after Io Sky to beat the dog shit out of Dakota Kai. She's not hurt, right? Right? She could take bumps, right? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Dakota Kai could be to Io Sky what right now Prince Nene is to Swerve Strickland. Dakota Kai can absolutely go out there and take bumps on behalf of Io Sky for Io Sky to get angry and want to take out her revenge on whoever attacked Dakota Kai. Or if you want to turn Dakota Kai or turn Io heel, you can use Dakota Kai as a legitimate manager to, do all these kinds of things for her. But instead, you just sit her off of television and then she collects cobwebs, and then you sit back and then you say things such as, we use all of our talents. It's not even me necessarily defending Dakota Kai. As you notice, I pointed out some negative things and some reasonable takes as to why Dakota Kai is being benched. Most likely the thought process going on throughout the Triple H regime and administration as to why they benched her. Notice, it's a very, third time using this word, nuanced take. There are goods and there are bads. But what I am suggesting is the singularity point focused on like a fucking laser beam. And suggesting, because again, wrestling fans today, they focus on one criteria, and if you're good at that, strictly just that one criteria, you're the best in the fucking world. Never mind all the other criterias. Again, I love using this analogy. These are the type of motherfuckers that say, if you pass one course, ignore all the other courses. If you're very, very good at math, or if you're very good at English, or if you're very good at science, or if you're very good at social studies. Hell, it wouldn't even put it past me if these motherfuckers think doing great at an elective. Hell, knowing these brain dead fucks, they probably think going to the cafeteria, eating free food and breathing the air is good enough to say, hey, well, they went to school, they attended. Man, look how that boy scarfed that food down. Shit, I'd give him an A in that. Damn, he got an A in something. Damn, he good. Damn, he should graduate. Damn, he should go to college. Damn. Like, what are you talking about? Bro, I almost said the N-word. And I mean the E-R N-word. I hate you. I hate you all. I hate all you people, okay? I hate how you think. I hate your mentality, your logic, the way you go around the world. The fact that you breathe my air makes me offended. Everything that you guys do is so cringeworthy. It's fucking pathetic. You do not have to focus on one criteria in order to suggest someone is good. Nor do you have to suggest that it's bad. That goes both ways too. If someone sucks at something, but they're very, very good, just because they hardcore suck at that area, you don't focus on the area and you deem them completely and utterly fucking trash. That's one of the things that I hate about most wrestlers who don't wrestle the indie style. They don't kickflip like a Will Ospreay or Ricochet, and therefore, because they don't kickflip like that, we have to ignore all their other qualities that make them stand out as a superstar. Which was one of the reasons why I kind of backed Jey Uso to begin with. Dakota Kai, if she has more to offer, let her offer it. Let her give up what she has built up and practice. Because again, you never even thought about this too. Who's to say that she can't go out of their way and practice? I mean, did anyone in the 1990s ever think to themselves that the Samoa Joe of the 1990s Taz, did they ever think to themselves that he was going to be color commentary for WWE and that he was going to fucking kill it? Kill it so well that nearly 25 years later, he's still doing the same job? Did it ever cross someone's mind that a killer like fucking Taz could be a color commentary? No, didn't cross anyone's mind at the fucking time. Now, if Triple H is legitimately as good as he is, which he is showing the complete opposite of nowadays, what he needs to do is legitimately give something for Dakota Kai to do. Refute the dumb fucking rhetoric that your best friend, your butt buddy Nick Khan put out there, and use her. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I actually fall more on the side of the people who are for Dakota Kai to be on television. Because, again, I don't know what she offers outside of wrestling. Let me see. Put her on television. Io Sky is the women's champion. Yes, it does make sense to put her on television. If you're afraid that she's gonna, break another nail and be out for 6 months, okay, cool. Then put her with Io. Let her and Io get heat together, whether that's positive heat or negative heat. Let them do something together, as they've been doing together for the past 3 years, 4 years, whatever. Let them do something. Rather than having them waste your resources that you're putting money into, the same criticism you're giving AEW. Or, here's a thought, and I'm not talking about the women, here's a thought, release the girl. Release her. Let her go to AEW, who fucking cares? Let her go to TNA, who fucking cares? You clearly don't care. Let her go, let her flap her wings. Let her go do whatever the fuck she wants to do. She ain't getting any younger. Don't be what you criticize AEW for and then go out of your way to not only do that, double down on that, but be just as worse, if not worse than AEW when talking about this. Again, no one would have focused on this rhetoric had you not brought it up. But now that you brought it up, no, you're called out for it and you look fucking stupid. Do something with the girl or let her fucking go. It's just that simple. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like I said, everything is cancer nowadays. Everything is cancer AIDS. And again, people are so one-sided and blinded by the narrative as to what should be done in professional wrestling. They can't even logically look at the person being affected and then saying to themselves, well, now that I'm wrong, or now that I'm right, or now that I'm dick, or now that I'm gay, or now that I'm this, or now that I'm that, how do we actually fix this problem? Because no matter how much I'm right or wrong or gay or dick or black or white or whatever, this person is still in the same position and this problem is still ongoing. But I guess we live in the me generation, and now that I'm right, that means that everything is solved and all problems are gone away. Because, don't know if you guys noticed this problem never really affected them to begin with. They just wanted to be right. Gotta love that good old me generation. I love it too. Oh! But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'll be catching you boys later on tonight for another episode of AEW Cringe, aka Dynamite. A deuces and a P. Ice.